Guys, Kansept has been making some incredibly cool knives for the last few years, and this is one we should have gotten to a long time ago, but, well, I'll explain it when we get to the table. Guys, I had every intention of doing a video about this knife a very long time ago, but as often happens, something occurred. This is the Kansept Anomaly. Now, this came to me from Jared, and it was on a shelf. It fell behind a bunch of stuff. And that's the only reason you guys haven't seen it yet. So let's go ahead and get the box out of the way so that we can take a look at this awesome knife. Now, Kansept has been making a bunch of really cool knives. I believe I mentioned that in the intro. Now, this is a smaller knife than a lot of the other knives that we've had come in from Dirk Pinkerton. This is coming in just under 7.5 inches on the mat, but it is gorgeously done. It is a beautiful Americanized tanto, but it's done more in the Japanese style. You can see how everything's rounded. It's not such a sharp angle. It does have that secondary point on it where it is, where it's ground too. But this thing is a great little knife so far in pocket. So I've had this in my pocket for probably about 3 or 4 hours this evening, and I did cut up some cardboard and stuff like that to see how it feels. I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with it. I like so many of Dirk Pinkerton's designs. Now, this one is done in S35VN. You can see Dirk Pinkerton design Anomaly. It's titanium. There's a lot of weight reduction in this. So far today, I've been carrying this, and it is so comfortable to carry. It just almost disappears in your pocket. It is a frame lock with a sculpted titanium clip, very similar to the clips that Dirk puts on some of his other knives, like the inversion and stuff like that. And I gotta say, that pocket clip is just comfortable in hand. There's no sharp edges on it. It does not pinch in hand at all. It's done with nice, beautifully done, almost like Duncan butterfly yo-yo style standoffs instead of a backspacer. Like I said, you can see a lot of weight reduction done in this, which makes it really light, and it gives it that neutral balance. You can see that neutral balance point on it that I like. It's done as a flipper, and it's flipper only. You've got a fuller there. It's done as a flipper only, and that flipper turns into a really good finger guard. Speaking of fingers, this comes down into a nice deep finger choil behind that, but it doesn't have a big choil forward because this is, like I said, a smaller knife. But really what makes it feel comfortable is this radius to it from heel to tip. It's radius this way, which is something I've come to appreciate in some more recent knives. In hand, man, is that comfortable in hand. You can get up on it. There's no jimping, which I appreciate, because sometimes jimping, it's not necessary. And on this, I think it would detract from the lines of the knife. I don't like jimping aesthetically, so the lack of jimping on this, I find fine. When you're on it like this, you've got a really good pinch point. You're nice and secure. You really don't need the jimping on this. That finger choil is deep enough that you feel that secure grip on this. Like when you get up on it, you're pinched in, it's going nowhere. Pushing back into your hand across that pivot point there of your finger, and you're just on it and locked in. And I did do some heavier cutting. I cut a little bit of wood with this and a lot of cardboard, and I found that it does feel comfortable in the grip. There are no hot spots on this. Typically, you're going to find that when you do some of your heavier cutting where you're really bearing down on it. I did not feel any hot spots on this. The fact that these are chamfered over with these angles as opposed to being completely radiused gives it a nice look, but you get the same thing as if you had radiused this from the middle point out to the sides and completely chamfered everything. Just putting these little angles on it makes it feel really nice and round in hand, but still gives you those facets. The blade on it is done beautifully. It's not too thick behind the edge. It's just in that Goldilocks zone, and it is sharp. This knife is very sharp. Action on this, really nice. Good snappy action on this. This reminds me a lot of the Reat K2. It really does remind me of a more blocky, smaller version of the Reat K2, which was a very good knife. I really like this a lot. I love the fuller that's on this. It gives it a nice aesthetic touch. And then you've got these nice clean lines on this. The grind is done just up to and touching just beautifully on this knife. So I have noticed a couple things about it that I would deem a little bit negative. And so we're going to flip this around. And we're going to talk about those, flip side of the story, flip side of the knife. So there's no showstoppers for me on this knife so far. There's just a couple little things that I'm not a big fan of. And one of them being this. I noticed when I had on some thicker pants. As I told you guys before, I change pants throughout the day so that I see how things go in and out. I had on some 511s that had the reinforced pockets. This hard edge caught a little bit going in on those reinforced pockets, and the thicker pair of jeans that I had on, definitely it caught a little bit. The next thing, the access to the lock bar is not bad, but it just feels a little inadequate. And sometimes when you think you've got it over, you'll hit up against that detent ball and it just feels like it caught. And you just kind of have to like double clutch it a little bit. So next thing, while this thing is really good in hand, it feels a little slim. It's really comfortable. This would not be something I would carry as a hard use knife. It just feels a little slim in my hand, but it's meant to be a smaller knife. I would probably carry this in concert with a larger knife. Just to give you guys a perspective, here is the Microtech Amphibian that I carry a lot. You can see that's not a real big knife. This is about a 9.5-inch knife. So let's get this out of the way. Next thing, the actual blade sits down in really far, and I wish that you had a secondary means of deployment. I would like to seen thumb studs on this, or allow the blade to stand up far enough you could get in on that fuller. Like if you got smaller hands, you might be able to do it. I can't do it. I can't get in on that fuller to reverse flick, which is my preferred method of deployment, and you just can't do it. Luckily, no big ugly lanyard hole on this. But what I have noticed over the last few hours is, while this pocket clip is nice, it's really comfortable and it's attractive, it does not sit down in where it's pushing material and making it hard to get in. It does go from a wide point down thin, and it has a tendency to walk around in the pocket. So this is a knife that I would probably want to carry up in the forward part of my pocket, up near the fly, so that I could carry a larger knife back towards the seam, back towards the, the seam in the leg. And this has a tendency to walk its way back towards the middle. And it's simply because this pocket clip is kind of broad at the top and skinny at the bottom, and it just doesn't have the contact. And the other thing is as far as this pocket clip goes down, it's not at all deep carry. It sits up a little taller than something this size I would want. I don't think I would want to change the pocket clip per se, but I think I would like to see it maybe cut out a little further and be a little deeper in the pocket. Not a lot, but just like maybe to there. I don't know really how you'd accomplish it on this, but I just wish it sat a little deeper. But other than that, those are just little minor things. It is a great knife so far, and you put it in your pocket, you forget it's there. It is just non-existent. So far today, first day in pockets, is it a yup or a nah? It's a yup. I dig it. And I like Dirk's designs. I have not seen a Dirk Pinkerton design I don't like yet. So with that being said, that's the end of this one. Let's turn this around, do some final thoughts, and send you out about your day. So there you go, guys. Sorry about that. I hate when knives fall through the cracks, because I remember when I unboxed this one, I was really excited about it. And so we're just now getting around to it. Hey, at least we're doing it. So this is a great knife. Absolutely should check one out. I'll put a purchase link down below. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that at the table. Guys, that's pretty much it on this one. It's first day in pockets. We're going to see how I feel about this in a few weeks of carry, now that I remember it's here. So you guys know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, drop a comment, hit the bell icon. You can go to Coffee Brand Coffee or Tempered Trail and use those links down below to save 10% at purchase. The Coffee Brand Coffee, some of the best coffee you're ever going to have, I promise, but it comes back with a money-back warranty, or guarantee, I should say. I have affiliate links to most of the major knife vendors down below. You can pick up knives there. It supports the channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra. I also have an Amazon store. Take that link, pin it to your browser. Do all of your Amazon shopping that way to support the channel. Once again, costs you nothing extra. And then I've got a public Discord and a membership down below where you can get in on exclusive content, premium sharpening tutorial series for that top tier guys, giveaways that I do, exclusive content. Guys, it really does help support the channel. Those are my biggest supporters right there. That's it on this one, guys. We'll hit this one up here in a few weeks. That's it on this one. I love y'all. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and I'll see you in the next video.